Good afternoon. I heartily
Namaskar.
welcome you all to the Husanus Dialogue series. Today, we are not going to discuss geopolitics or terrorism. Instead, we will focus on one of the most pressing global challenges of our time, that is climate change, which is increasingly recognized as a major non traditional security threat. Across the world, we are witnessing the serious repercussion of climate change. Unprecedented heat waves, devastating forest fires, severe drought in some regions, and catastrophic flood in others. Rapid biodiversity loss and increasing pollution, affecting human health and ecosystem alike. So, to address these interconnected challenges, the European Union, as early as I think 2015, right, Christina,
Yes.
emphasized a set of forward looking strategies, one of most significant being nature based solutions. Nearly a decade later, countries across the globe are actively adopting nature based solutions not only to meet the targets of COP21, but also to address local and regional environmental challenges in a sustainable, resilient, and cost effective manner. Recognizing the importance of this approach, the Uzanas Foundation has brought this crucial issues for today's forum, creating a platform for dialogue, learning, and shared experience to help us understand what is nature-based solution in depth. We are truly privileged to have with a very eminent expert and a dear friend of mine, Miss Christina Mardi from the Aarhus Municipal Corporation, Denmark. So, on behalf of Hosanna's Foundation, I extend a very warm welcome to you, Christina.
Thank
Most welcome, Christina,
thank
in
you
the
very much.
Hosanna's Dialogue series. Yeah. So, Christina, let me begin by asking you. So, my first question is, could you explain in detail what exactly nature based solutions are? And why is it that NBS are suddenly being discussed everywhere, from global climate negotiations to local urban planning at particular moment in time? Please.
Mhm. Thank, thank you very much, Anita. I try to do short. I like to speak a lot when it's concerning nature-based solutions, but I will define nature-based solutions as activities or as actions that take care of, restore, and protect, conserve natural areas and help to solve challenges in our communities, like protecting people and cities where there are extreme weather, providing food and clean water. Uh, I must
Yeah.
say, in other words, they are interventions that use nature and the natural functions of health ecosystems to tackle some of the most pressing challenges of our time. For example, if you take flooding from extreme rain events, that is very often the case in Denmark, it can be reduced
Yeah.
or even avoided by taking care of and by restoring nearby wetlands or recreating wetlands because healthy wetland act as a sponge, allowing to hold
Yeah.
enormous amount of water. So when it's raining
Yes.
a lot, the wetland can absorb tons of water and helping reduce flooding and keeping people safe. So nature can also help to provide food and clean water, as I mentioned, bringing back natural areas can help also increase the number of pollinators as bees, preserving the valuable habitats for these insects. And the more pollinators means also more food, because insects are very important for growing fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, they
And
are very important pollinators.
yes, and if we
Yes.
look from the other point of view, what are not NBS solutions? I must say that these are actions that simply minimize human impacts on nature, such as reducing waste or decreasing water use, that are not considered to be nature-based solutions. So it can be hard to determine which specific solutions fall under this umbrella. There are more than 10 to different definitions what the nature-based solutions are, and each definition vary in scopes and emphasis. For example, some limit nature-based solutions to those based in functioning ecosystem, meaning nature-derived solutions, which are, for example, such as wind and solar energy, and nature-inspired solution which mimic natural processing. They are not accounted as a nature-based solutions. I think nowadays the nature-based solutions are considered as a super solutions to climate change, meaning the cheapest, fastest, and most widely available solutions. And many researchers show that they could provide 1/3 of the carbon mitigation needed to meet the goals of the, for example, Paris Agreement that we are legally following. But now all these solutions are about climate change. Projects like coral reef protections, mangrove forest protection, and restoration of groundwater conservation and recharging can also provide valuable benefits for people and ecosystems without having a specific goal to mitigate greenhouse gas emissions. And if I mention mangroves, they are special because they can contribute directly to greenhouse gas mitigation, unlike groundwater protection projects or coral reefs. The mangroves are sometimes explicitly protected for capturing and storing the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. If we talk about the subset of the nature-based solutions called natural climate solution, that are also very used word, are expressly aimed to addressing the climate change, either by avoiding or reducing emissions or by removing and storing carbon from atmosphere. For example,
Yeah.
the natural grasslands are restored, the roots store large amount of carbon in the ground. The other example could be a forest restoration projects that can improve the soil quality and tree cover to increase the greenhouse gas sequestration. Natural climate solutions can also provide adaptation benefits, given the focus on conservation, restoration, and improved land management. However, they primarily focus historically has been on mitigation, basically. These are just a few of many examples that I can I can give at the moment. And I was saying that we are depending on the nature, and if we are taking care of nature, the nature will take care of us.
Yes,
Um,
very true.
and we have been actually practicing nature-based solutions all along. long time, but only recently we have labeled, measured, and promoted them as integrated solutions for climate or disaster risks and sustainable development. But the buzz is basically branding evidence or policy alignment, not inventing something entirely new. So I think the growing global interest in nature-based solutions could have important impacts on climate action, especially. And these solutions provide a holistic approach that can consider the full range of potential benefits and outcomes from climate actions rather than emissions reduction potential. It's my opinion, and this helps also designers and policymakers or scientists or engineers to implement interventions in nature that also support biodiversity, sustainable development, and other critical goals. So the nature-based solutions are suddenly everywhere. And it's not because it's new, but because today's climate challenges, economic and policy pressures made them unavoidable. And they are not new, but because now world needs them. I will define it this way. But
Yes.
Nature-based solutions also provides a single framework to promote old practices, because if we take also the knowledge from India, how people used to harvest water for drinking. So it's not old practices at all, but it has been forgotten practices. And also why we now desperately are determined to restore wetlands, urban trees, and agroforestry, because they help tackle climate, flood, and biodiversity challenges. So what is new is actually the umbrella concept that we tend to call it for the nature-based solutions, which groups actually many different nature-centered practices under one term, uniting so scientists, engineers, and policymakers around solutions that work with nature to solve social problems. So I think
Yeah,
it's
it's
basically
yeah.
what I.
Yeah, yeah, for India, it's not true. It's inherent in our tradition, actually, because we are conserving our nature by creating a small patches of the groves, forest, like
Mhm.
sacred groves associated with the deities, and like water is worship as like sacred water, and like that. So it's not true, but definitely it is come under one umbrella, that is nature-based solutions, and then we define it like that. Thank you
Mhm.
very much, Christina, for very insightful. And so now going little bit forward, right? So traditionally we have relied on engineered or the gray solutions, right? Such as
Yes.
flood walls, creating flood walls, concrete drains, cooling infrastructures, etc. But yet today, many cities and countries are deliberately shifting towards nature based solutions, right? So,
Yes.
from your experience working at the municipal corporation in Denmark, right?
Yes.
And across the Europe, what have been the strongest driver behind this shift? What is the strongest driver?
Mhm. From my experience and understanding, the shift is driven by a combination of policy, economics,
Okay.
ecological effectiveness, and community acceptance. Um, if we take some examples in Scandinavia, then in Scandinavia, governments strongly support nature-based solutions through climate and urban planning policies. And We have done that already for decades, making project fundable and aligned with national climate goals. I think that this is a reason for that is, for example, recent climate change events, flooding and drought events that we have experienced past 10 years. And it's also that the government, it has costed a lot of money to solve the damages. And economically, nature-based solutions often provide long-term cost savings, and that is clear now. For example, some of the biggest municipality corporations in Denmark, as Copenhagen, Odense, Aarhus, have decided in their climate adaptation plans, in municipal plans, to use, for example, city parks for climate adaptation, green roofs, water harvesting solutions, permeable streets to manage extreme rainfalls, instead of relying solely on underground pipes, underground harvesting solutions, and in this way reducing flood risk, and also while creating recreational spaces for citizens as well. So ecologically, these solutions are resilient and multifunctional. And in Denmark, as well as in our neighbor countries, restored wetlands and floodplains along the rivers and water bodies act as a natural buffers against flooding, and while supporting also biodiversity and improving water quality. So, for example, some of the river rejuvenation project, there has been many actually we can learn from. I can name also that I have been visiting Oslo River Rejuvenation Project, use neutralized riverbanks and green corridors to control the flooding, enhance habitat, and provide recreational areas for communities. And also Rose River Project, the same way, where we have reopening the piped river stretch, and that additional grey infrastructure. And I will name what we consider the grey infrastructure here is dams, for example, seawalls, drainage systems, underground water restoring or harvesting solutions are expensive to build and maintain. And we have very many examples from that as well, and often brittle and under extreme climate events, and have a single purpose. It's hidden, and they are not providing any value at all. And as climate impacts accelerate, policymakers and planners actually realize more often that purely engineered solutions cannot scale fast or cheaply enough. So that we have experienced in Denmark, and we have heard and seen from our project partners from Balticum as well, that the grey infrastructure solutions, they are poor solutions. So everybody tried to look for nature-based solutions now. And and unlike grey infrastructure solutions often also simplifies and destroys habitats, as we know. So the nature-based solutions, in contrary, are designed to restore and enhance and mimic natural ecosystems and support biodiversity. So it's also very much concentrating on the solutions that we have been choosing in our countries to function efficiently. So we have very many good examples in our cities and in our neighboring countries. where we have created space for water in a city center, for example, to prevent flooding. And all these projects are multifunctional, adding more value and are recreational. And if we talk about the social aspect, so the social acceptance is strong in this project because communities enjoy the added benefits. For example, public green spaces, nice cafes along the watersheds, improved air quality, and opportunities for outdoor activities. And it is clearly shown that the nature-based solutions can combine urban resilience with water quality of life improvements for citizens. So, and now a lot of cost-benefit analysis also have been done, and they show that nature-based solutions increase value by combining risk reduction, ecosystem services, and social benefits into a single investment, while grey infrastructure usually delivers just one service and higher long-term costs. So nature-based solutions are easy to justify politically because they solve multiple problems at once. And in Denmark, as well as in other, I will add that if we talk about the public support, then solutions has by far shown strong public support, and also people experience to benefit directly, and it also builds the trust and long-term acceptance. And if we look at the economical aspect, so there are also a lot of research is made to show that actually it increases also the value.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Christina. As you have more than decades of experience and you are working extensively on the nature-based solution, right?
Yes.
So, while designing and implementing the project in nature-based solutions, I would just now like to focus on the challenges associated with the nature-based solutions, despite their immense potential, right? As you said, a nature-based solution have an immense potential, but still there are so many challenges at the governance level, at finance level, right? So, according to you, or from the international and European experiences, what are the key barriers that cities and government faces when trying to set up and scale up nature-based solution?
Yeah, as I also mentioned that nature-based solutions are attractive because they provide multiple benefits and combine engineering with ecology. But you're right, these solutions are not always easy to implement, and we are facing as well various challenges still continuously. And from my experience, I think we often face three main type of challenges, and I will mention acceptance, governance,
Yeah.
and
Centimeter said,
finance. It's the main key
okay,
issues.
sorry to interrupt you. Some nature-based solutions are slow, soft at all. Like such type of things are also said to the nature-based solutions. So, what type of major challenges is faced to implement or
Mhm.
design,
Yeah,
right?
we experience that stakeholders may doubt their nature-based solutions reliability for flood protection or urban infrastructure. Doubt is always there, and also the co-benefits like biodiversity, recreation, or mental health are not always valued in this decisions making, as we can see. So
Yes.
convincing planners and the public takes effort and strong communication. So even so, we are daily working with the planners. So it has been many years of hard work actually to collaborate in the house
Yes,
so that we are talking the same language. So and also the governance is tricky because nature-based solutions usually span multiple sectors. And for instance, floodable park area that affects water management, urban planning, and recreation departments. So there are many people and departments involved.
yes.
So
Got it.
if yeah, and if responsibilities are fragmented, the coordination is really difficult. So you are like sitting in the
Difficult, right?
silos. So we every day talk about break the silo thinking. So integrating nature-based solutions into formal planning and legal frameworks is also very much a challenge everywhere.
Right. Yeah,
So
very true.
still, as a building codes and regulations are often designed around the conventional infrastructure. And finally, I think there are often ambiguity over who maintains the spaces in long term. So we have learned that it's very important early phase define who has the maintenance task
Yes.
later on. Then it's the third one was finance, and nature-based solutions typically have high upfront costs, and the benefits accrue over decades. So it's not happening suddenly, and which does not align well with the short-term budgets or political cycles.
So that means the project cycle is play a more important role in the
Yes,
implementation of the nature-based solution, right?
yes.
Because the project cycle, because the duration and after the completion of the project, the maintenance is one of the important aspect.
Yes, actually, the cycle and what kind of steps in the cycles are important to define is very important in developing and implementing the nature-based solutions that we actually also are focusing very much in our project in Denmark at the moment. And valuing long-term social and ecological benefits also is difficult,
Okay.
and it makes it harder just to justify the investments. Um, Private sectors investors may also hesitate if there is no immediate financial return. So everybody wants everything fast. So that's why combining public funding with private and, for example, European Union funding that we are relying very much on has been important in Denmark and Europe and in development of nature-based solutions. So in Aarhus, together with other partners, partner cities, we are currently actually working together in Invest for Nature project that is about making nature-based solutions financially transparent and attractive for investment and scaling so that cities and governments can implement more nature-based solutions confidently and sustainably. So it is a valuable information for if we should implement or implicate this kind of knowledge. From my experience, I think other barriers that I have heard mentioned a lot and also experienced is the knowledge and capacity gaps. Designing and maintaining
Okay.
the nature-based solution. Yeah,
Signing in.
and it
Right.
requires, as you know, ecological,
Yeah, I know
technological,
that.
and social aspects, and also knowledge in very much. And
Yes, yes, yes. The biggest challenge is to convince the governance, so the
yes,
government bodies to implement such type of project in their areas and like which we are facing. Yeah, I know.
yeah. And the urban land where I work very much on is often limited, as I mentioned before. And so finding a space for nature-based solutions can conflict with existing development in the city. So developers, they want to develop more houses, gain more, own more money. So the
Yes.
metrics for effectiveness and cost benefit analysis are still very much involving in Denmark as well, making it harder to
Yeah.
convince
I
the
think
stakeholders.
not only in Denmark, everywhere.
Yeah. So I think the political cycles, equity concerns, and climate uncertainty add very much the complexity in this. So yeah, I think if I can
Yeah, yeah.
pull it into a
There
shorter
are some
version.
complex challenges.
Yeah,
There are complex challenges from the implementation for designing to implementing and to the governance, finance, and maintenance, and like to the involve all the different sectors and all the departments, just like municipal corporation and like irrigation department and forest department and like so. I can understand, right.
yeah. And
Yeah,
if I try to answer that how Denmark has so far managed or to succeed with some of the solutions or the solutions done by so far,
yeah,
I would say that probably the success come from a few key factors. Basically, it's a strong municipal leadership, cross-sector collaboration, as I mentioned, integrated
yes,
financing, and evidence-based communication. And in Aarhus, the nature-based solutions are embedded in long-term urban planning, involving water engineers, planners, ecologists, and also public in high degree. So demonstrating core benefits clearly and securing multi-year funding um, have been very crucial. So as we consider nature-based solutions as a holistic approach, you can replicate projects overcoming perceptions, governance,
yeah,
and financial barriers is very, very critical. So strong leadership, multi-stakeholder engagement, knowledge and expert group collaboration, clear communication about long-term benefits are what makes scaling nature-based solutions possible, in my opinion.
yeah. Yeah. It's very true, very well said. So, my next question is, so as you said, governance and participations both are play a very critical role in the success of any nature-based solutions, right? So,
Yes.
how do governance structure and stakeholder engagement shape outcomes, equity, and accountability? And looking across the full project life cycle, what are the
Mhm.
key costs, challenges, and long-term gain that makes NBS worth investing? Can you
Mhm.
please highlight on this
Yeah.
point?
Um, if I think, then I must admit that the strong governance ensures clear roles, responsibilities, and coordination among municipal departments, water managers, planners, private actors. Without this, project can stall or underperform because no one owns the long-term management. And we have to be very clear
Yes.
who is going to maintain and manage. So
Yes.
the participation is also important. Uh, we have experienced that engaging communities, local businesses, NGOs, and technical experts from the beginning or from the start of the project helps ensure that project meet local needs to build the trust
Yes.
and reduce conflicts. because conflicts are very
Yes.
easy to appear. So it promotes equity because those who benefit or bear the risks have a voice in designing and implementation. So we have learned from our mistakes, and every time we try to do better, so that we have learned by doing, facing the challenges. And when the governance and participation are weak, so and there is low public support, we can also see that the maintenance of the infrastructure of the nature-based solutions also stay poor.
Yes.
So
Mm.
the strong governance and inclusive engagement improve accountably the project durability. And
So,
we also, oh, sorry.
no, it's okay. Yeah, carry on, please.
I want to
So,
say that,
so I think that is the involvement of the community is one of the key factor for this of the solutions, right?
yeah, yeah, and actually the communication also to communicate that the nature-based solutions are still worth investing in, that the upfront costs and governance demands are real, but the nature-based solutions provide multifunctional benefits more than the gray infrastructure rarely can. And when you take account the ecological, social, long-term economic gains, so they offer a high return on investments, not just in money, but in resilience, citizens' well-being, and sustainability. So the key is to plan
Yes.
holistically, engage stakeholders. It has been proven to be useful, and secure multi-funding and governance structures.
Yes, true. If the community engagement is there, then definitely community help us to maintain the nature further for the
Yeah,
nature-based solutions. Take care of the solutions which we are given to them, right?
yeah. And they are like, if they are part of this project, they can also gain the ownership of the project.
Ownership.
So it's much
Yes.
easier
Ownership of
later.
the. Yeah, very true, very true. Yeah. So now I bring our discussion to India. The contest becomes even more complex, right?
Yeah.
Because India faces competing development priorities, limited technical capacity at local level, and often low awareness or trust in nature based approaches compared to concrete solutions, financing, and long term maintenance, and remain. This is the real answer.
Hmm.
So, my question: how can countries like India overcome challenges related to acceptance, governance, and financing to successfully implement and scale up
Hmm.
NBS? And what lesson from the global experience, particularly from Europe, do you think are the most relevant for the Indian context, please?
Hmm. I tried to make it short. I actually have been thinking about that while also working together in India. And I think the first is,
Yes.
as you mentioned, the acceptance that that is also been issue and still is the issue here in Europe as well. So the nature-based solutions are often preserved, as you say, also so soft or less reliable compared to conventional engineered solutions. So many decisions makers still tend to focus on short-term results, and it's very like visible in India as well. So the public awareness is often low, as you also I mentioned that. So people may not immediately recognize the value of the nature-based solutions. So
Yeah.
awareness campaigns probably will highlight multiple co-benefits that could be essential, and successful or good pilot projects in the cities that can demonstrate the impact. Engaging local communities from the beginning probably helps build the trust and the ownership. So if you manage to make some good examples, I think it will be also a key factor or driver. So the second
Okay.
one is governance. It has, as I mentioned before, that driven the examples from Denmark. The responsibilities for water, forest, urban planning, disaster management are also fragmented, and I've experienced also that the silo thinking is very widespread. So and specialists are not working together; they are not collaborating. So integrating nature-based solutions into more formal planning, regulations, municipal codes can be difficult, and in India it's long-term stewardship that is often very unclear and confusing, and why the risk, also the afraid to take risks, and also afraid that the projects are failing over time. So probably if I'm thinking, and now I'm also probably we think what advice I would give, it's probably India can establish cross-sector nature-based solution task forces. For example, getting inspiration, collaboration with European cities in municipal planning, and building codes, and clearly assign responsibilities for operation and maintenance. For example,
Okay.
create teams that brings together different government departments like water, urban planning, and environment
I think that
departments.
is the biggest issue,
Yeah.
to bring all the departments together, right?
Yes.
This is
Uh,
the basic, I think this is the basic issue behind,
yeah.
yeah.
To combine the knowledge sharing as
To
well.
combine the knowledge, yes, yes.
Yeah. And
And to work with the collaboration with the different departments, and like to convince each and everyone about the nature-based solutions and what are the benefits, and
yeah.
like this is the, I think, major issue.
And it's also like the nature-based solution should be included in the city plans and in
City
building
plan,
rules
right.
as well, so that we try
Yes.
to do in Scandinavia, so they are officially recognized as easier to implement and defined,
Yeah.
and it should be clear who takes care of the nature-based solution in long term, like planting, cleaning, or monitoring, so the solutions continue to work properly.
To work
Uh,
properly, right, right. It's not a day, it's not just like you are doing this nature-based solution today and forget tomorrow. It's a continuous process. You have to take care.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Right.
probably the third one is regarding the finances, and as I mentioned many times before, that nature-based solutions require upfront investments, but the budgets and political cycles are very short-termed, and also valuing benefits to justifying investments can be challenging. And
Okay.
for some examples, I think to use the creative ways to pay for nature-based solutions, like mixing government money with private investments, green bonds or climate funds. Engineers or stakeholders can apply for different funds, show the long-term benefits like cleaner water, flood protection, to convince investors that it's money worth spending. Also, start with small pilot project, as I mentioned, that can be a good indicator before scaling up to reduce risk and learn what's best, and also invest into planning the strategy. That is
Yes.
also a good long time investment.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and if we probably better, but if we talk about some of the existing examples that I have learned to know in India that already have been working very well, then it's Bengaluru project where they have harvesting rainwater or rejuvenating the overflow channels, and also urban lakes. Chennai have restored the wetlands, riverbanks, reducing flooding, and there are some of the smart city project as well, integrating green corridors. As far as I have read, rain gardens. So there are already quite many well-working projects that are or have been possible
Yes.
to implement.
Yes, yes, yes. So you mean to say if the municipal corporation adopt this nature-based solution in their development plan, then it may be possible to implement smoothly and like it can be taken up, right?
Yes, and if we can collaborate together and inspire each other, because it's also like we would really like to share our knowledge, what have been work. There is no need to make the same mistakes that we already have done and improve that not working. So it's also learning from other, share the knowledge, decrease the knowledge gaps, and also make a little investment to prove that some solutions are worth doing and implementing. So I think it's also to take the courage and in the municipal corporation, it's start with a small project and upscale. So and also very important that they gain the understanding that it's important that different departments have to work together. It's
Yeah.
very important to work with um, scientists, the knowledge partners, engineers.
So yeah, thank you. Yeah. So thank you, Christina. Thanks a lot for your insightful and experience-rich discussions on NBS. So it is greatly enrich our understanding on climate resilient pathway. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Yuzanis.